Good morning, this is Yashaswini Razdan for EE Times reporting from Productronica in Bangalore. I'm sitting here at Aimtron Electronics booth with Mr. Sneh Shah, who's the whole-time director. Thanks a lot, Mr. Sneh. Could you just give our viewers an overview of your global operation?
To keep you posted, like as Aimtron, we are termed as an ESDM, that is Electronic System Design and Manufacturing. So we provide one-stop solution. So if anyone comes with a concept, we help them to design from scratch. That is hardware engineering, mechanical engineering, whatever it needs to be done, complete hardware, software solution. Once design is ready, we take it up to prototype, reliability testing, and then fit to the market. And then we take it to the production till complete system integration, whether it's plastic, sheet metal, where PCBA is a core part of it. So PCB assembly is part of the main core part of it, where system integration. Also we do it with cable assemblies and couple of other.
What kind of outlook or vision do you have for India, your market outlook for India? If that would help us better understand what your plans are for India.
So if you see the statistics that comes from Government of India, they are expecting that this industry would grow at a pace of 30 to 32% CAGR year on year, and probability is expected to go 1 trillion by 2030. And as Aimtron, we already have our foots on ground, where we have two manufacturing setup. One is in Bangalore, that is southern part of India, and one is in western part of India, that is Vadodara, that's an India headquarter. And we have 5 SMT lines in India, and we are starting one more greenfield project in Gujarat itself that will have down the line 6 SMT lines, and that will have a complete system integration kind of a concept with basics of plastics and sheet metal in-house. So customer will get a one-stop solution under one roof, and with that new addition, we are eyeing at almost 1,000 crore journey in next 3 to or couple of years.
How has this government's policies towards pro-manufacturing policies like PLI, Make in India, how have they impacted your growth here in India?
So if you see, Government of India has come with a lot of initiatives. So initial, that was a white good PLI, productive incentive scheme affiliated with that. And now they have come up with ECMS, that is electronic components manufacturing. So just an example, that's a new greenfield facility. It's a one step towards that initiative what government has started. So to what Aimtron is also eyeing at is towards that direction itself. So we would be also eyeing at that ECMS, we are exploring on that front, and if we can opt for that PLI, because we are already serving myriad of sectors like telecom, automotive and all, and this ECMS will help us to roll over more on that direction, because growth trajectory has been seen at a pace of 35%. And if you see as compared to last year, we had a 70% revenue growth year on year. And this year also we are eyeing on somewhat of that trajectory itself. So considering that growth trajectory, it's one of the, and with this GST 2.0 coming up, probably it seems that domestic growth or consumption is going to increase. So that also directly, indirectly will help us out.
You recently announced a huge ODM, UPS ODM facility. Could you shed some light on that?
One of the US player, global player who has presence in India. So we closed one 97 crore, approximately 100 crore, $12 million worth of opportunity. And that's an ODM model. So we help them to design complete product. And from concept, we are going to take that up to prototype and to production. And till date, if you see last 10 years of us, it was manufacturing. From that, we used to get a design business. Now we are shifting ourselves from design, we are going to the manufacturing business. So that is called as a design-led manufacturing and more of an ODM kind of a model. So that is what this decade focus will be.
Okay, that's interesting. So could you shed some light on what design innovation is happening in this particular UPS model that you're designing for this particular company?
Probably it's a 1 kV, 2 kV, 3 kV kind of UPS, and that is going to be used for data centers as an end application. So till date, customer is importing from one of the countries, and now under Make in India initiative, they cannot sell it on GEM portal or somewhat of that kind. So this will help us under Make in India Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative. It will be complete independent under India's development itself. We'll be owning that complete IP. For next couple of years, and we'll be helping them under this ECMS and all that schemes that government has initiated. So comparing, if you see, the complete ecosystem is getting built up, from design to complete electronics to complete plastic, sheet metal, cable assembly, transformers, because it's of a power electronics. So that has high voltage, high current kind of stuff, which is not normal and which not everyone has a capability to do that. So Mtron is leading on that front, and we'll be doing the complete project down, and probably next year we'll be up and running with the product, and it will be up in the market.
What is the technical innovation in your particular design that this company chose you over everybody else? And now you've spoken about capability, which I understand, Aimtron being such a big company, but the design prowess, what is your design prowess?
If you see, like several factors are that. So our typical sales cycle goes for 6 to 9 months. So it's not that we overnight closed it with just one part of it. So this project, it took us 1 year of time to close it. So I would say US as an base, part one, and with US quality, US as an presence because if you see our business, it has been with upcoming trending technologies. That is what we focus on, and we focus on that niche market segment. So AI, IoT, even if you see the current open orders, majority goes into IoT and that kind of sectors. AI, IoT and the industrial 4.0, 5.0 kind of industries, that kind of applications. So that is where our forte has been since inception. So, and if you see design, as I stated, power electronics, because it's high voltage, high current, because a data center, all your data is gonna get stored there. So if you see that reliability testing and all that needs to be done, global certification, and so this product will not be for India, it will be for global. So the primary target would be India, but then it will be sold for global.
What kind of technology integration, you mentioned AI, IoT, all of that is happening, and those are keywords which everybody uses. So what kind of technology, where are you utilizing these upcoming technologies, or very much prevalent technologies in your design and manufacturing process?
Last year we added one more SMT line, somewhere around November, December. And if you see on that front, it was more of an integrated with 100% automation. So that is IoT and AI features, AI enabled features. So for instance, if you load the PCB at the end, you get a final PCB without any human intervention. And that detects your level of quality as well. So we just not only make the products, we take that into practice as well. That increase our efficiency, operational efficiency, quality, level of quality, and everything. Plus, we do have one intranet software within our all 5 facilities globally to what we have, and that's a bridge across all the facilities. And sitting here, I can see what is going on the shop floor. So that's a real-time access. I can get it across all the 5 SMT lines that we have it on India.
How are you managing the India-US business, India versus US business, like your target markets, export markets, scaling to a global level from India? How?
So if you see like our open order book as on today, what we have, 80% is a domestic market and 20% is export. But when I say domestic, it's more of an international clientele. This 100 crore order, the power UPS we were talking few minutes back, their presence is in US first. But they do have a facility in India, so we target or we eye on such kind of customers or key players. We call it as preferred partners. So we call suppliers as well as our customers as in partners. We don't treat them as either customers or don't treat them as a supplier. So internally we call them as a preferred.
So this partner sales module, does this work for all cases in India, or is it specific to this particular client?
Depends on case to case because what we do is we start activity from a design phase. So we help them to build their product when they come with a concept, and from there we take it up to the market. So that is where our leverage goes into, that from concept till production level, they get under everything under one roof. So they get hardware solutions, they get software solutions, testing, reliability testing, certifications like IP, CE, UL, which are for global standards. So that all, and then once that all design is done, it goes to a prototyping mode. Once prototyping is ready, it goes for a field testing. After that, we go for a pilot batch, and then it goes for a mass production.
So do you have these testing facilities also in-house, or do you have some partner?
Depends on what kind of testing is required, but definitely majority gets done in-house itself. In case if we need a certification, then we have preferred partners in that direction. For example, IP, if we need a certification to certify the product, then definitely we have to eye on the third party, or we have to eye on our preferred partners. But if it needs to be done anything at PCB and box build level, we do it in-house.
Interesting. What kind of supply chain do you have in India? Do you import most of the materials? What percentage of localization do you have?
We have a global sourcing team who takes care globally as well as locally. But if you see now customized parts, we have started getting it localized. Majority of it, you can say 90% plus, all the customized parts are getting within India itself now. Electronics, definitely still globally there ain't any options, so we have to eye on a couple of countries initially to start with. But then that options also have started, like Japan is one country we have started exploring, Singapore, Malaysia, a couple of others where we are exploring. Korea is one of another partner. So the one country plus one to what it is going around, China plus one kind of a story. That story has also already started, and we are part of evidencing that story.
Okay, but in case in the future, do you have any plans of becoming an IDH plus ODM? Like you come up with your own product, your design, and you sell it under your brand?
As of now, the core focus would be to go on the ESDM mode and design anyhow. We are doing it. So initially, for next couple of years, our focus, as I stated, is from design-led business to a manufacturing-led business. We are reversing that 360 degree. So that trajectory has already started, and probably if everything goes well down the line, you may have that. But as on today, the plan is to focus on ESDM.
Interesting. Is it because you do not want to get into the whole selling the product and marketing, that whole shindig?
That can be one part of it.
Yeah.
But if I, just an example, if I develop a drone by myself, any of the drone companies might not go with Mtron on that front because they would have a fear of losing their IP, as we already have one product in that domain. I'm just giving one layman language example. So going in particular domain, we have to be very cautious on that front, on where exactly we develop the product and where we go. But so that's the prime reason. Prime focus as of now would be go on a service-based model itself, where we can help them to design as a part of one-stop solution, but IP remains with the customer.
But is there also a chance, because when you have such a major client, once the contract finishes, there could be a chance that they'll move on to some other person, some other company. So there's some sort of dependency when you are designing and manufacturing products for some other company as compared to, building products for yourself. So how do you manage or balance that risk?
You have in-depth of complete EMS, that is what it seems. Probably it's not the case with us, because if you see a lot of tooling and a lot of NRE tooling get incurred with that, and we have to invest $100,000 in that. So any customer, if they want to shift, it would be hard for them, because for say 2 years or 1 year or a couple of years you've worked with them, they already know how exactly Mtron works, and Mtron knows how exactly they work. So it's more of a partnership, and as on today, if we say it's more of an 80% ratio, where still day one customer is affiliated with us. So that is how it goes, and any contract it goes, that execution time frame is minimum 12 months of time. So there is a lot of time that gets invested from both the teams because it has started from design, and then there is a lot of tooling cost gets involved on top of it. So it's not that easy for someone to shift from one place to another. Some cases that happens, but majority of the case, as I stated, day one customer is still affiliated with us.
Okay. Another thing which is concerning your manufacturing, how do you source? You mentioned you have a global sourcing team. In India, do you keep like a stock of components ready, and how does the stocking go about?
Again, it depends on customer to customer, orders to orders, and type of customers that we engage. So what we do is we get annual orders with monthly or quarterly split deliveries. So we already know what is going to get shipped this month, what is going to get shipped next month. So based on that, complete sourcing and production planning team sit together and they plan on how exactly the material needs to be factored in. So for example, couple of parts, they may have a lead time of 16 weeks, but that is only 10% of your BOM. 90% is still available in the market. So that 90% you have to schedule it in a way that comes along with the 10%. So that we already, because we are already since ages, it's been almost like decade plus time. So probably that's not a constraint for us because we are, that's a general practice that we are doing it anyhow.
What is your percentage of dead stock?
Probably I would say less than 5% or not even that, because we go with active inventories only, whatever consumption story is there. So based on customer orders only we procure it, so it's kind of a build to spec kind of a model. So inventory or excess inventory kind of stuff will not be the case with Aimtron.
Okay, interesting. Very sad. Do you also employ these predictive maintenance, artificial intelligence, machine learning sort of, these upcoming to manage your stock inventory?
Definitely, as I stated before, we have one intranet software that's IoT enabled, that's affiliated with cloud directly. So sitting here, for example, we have two manufacturing setup. So if I need something in Bangalore, but I can see that stock, I just have to enter the part number. I can see that that part is available in Vadodara. So I will not go with distributor or manufacturer. I'll get in touch with Vadodara team and get that. So that's the reason we have a global sourcing team. So who takes care of all this part, and that's an everything is a paperless documentation process, and it's an like IoT enabled real-time basis. Whatever stock is available, it gets reflected on the system, where exactly it is located, what quantity, which date, which lot code, which date code, which manufacturer, what price. You get a complete history of it.
That's amazing. So, what comes next for Aimtron in the next coming year? I won't even ask 3 years. Do you have any such major clients, major announcements which you would like to tell the world?
As I stated, we are coming up with a greenfield project in Gujarat that is almost 100,000 square feet. Probably that will be more advanced in technology. Down the line, that can go with 6 SMT lines. That's the level of capacity we are trying to build. Current capacity to what we have, probably we can go up to 450 to 500 crore with the current capacity that we have. And with this new capacity, we can add on 500 crore more. So we are eyeing at 1,000 crore down the line.